Go with 316,000 new cases each day. Health experts, though, say it is a different situation than prior waves given the availability of vaccines and boosters. There's also new data from the CDC showing the effectiveness and safety of vaccines for kids.
Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona Wednesday saying despite surging cases of Omicron, children should be in the classroom.
We know what works. We know mitigation strategies work. Now we have access to vaccines for children as young as 5. Let's remember, our students suffer when they're not in the classroom.
His message comes as the CDC's out with 3 new studies showing that COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective for children. One finding that with hospitalized children between the ages of 5 and 17, fewer than 1% were fully vaccinated.
That's ABC's Alex Brachet. ABC has confirmed the federal government's expected to authorize boosters for 12 to 15-year-olds as soon as next week. Vaccines and masks required at some New Year's Eve celebrations, including the scaled-down ball drop in Times Square. It's also where Eric Adams will be sworn in as New York City's next mayor. He said his administration will become more aggressive in fighting the pandemic.
New York will lead the way for this entire country to follow.
But a combination of bad weather and sick calls causing an 8th straight day of air travel woes. Already more than 1,000 flights canceled today. Fast-moving wildfire destroyed more than 600 homes in Boulder County, Colorado Thursday. Heidi Fletcher described the moments of trying to get her kids into a car as they fled a Chuck E. Cheese.
We were buckling our kids in, and when we got into the car, our faces were covered in black ash and debris, and we had masks on, and it was in our mouths.
The White House described President Biden's Thursday phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin as serious and substantive, saying the president warned of economic costs if Russia were to invade Ukraine. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 800-533-6605 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605.
New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Houston all saw a surge in violent crime and murders in 2021. But there was a drop in Dallas, where violent crime was down 9%. Homicides fell by 12% from the year before. Animal lovers are angry after the shooting death of a tiger at the Naples Zoo in Florida. The animal injured a worker who stuck his arm through an enclosure.
The Collier County Sheriff defended the deputy's decision to kill the tiger, saying he did everything he could do. Animal rights activist Carol Baskin, who came to fame in the Netflix docuseries Tiger King, says the tiger's blood is on the hands of those who do foolish things with wild animals.
People see others behaving stupidly online, then they think they can do that too, and that ends in tragedy.
The man has serious injuries, and the sheriff says he could face criminal charges. Todd Ant, ABC News.
A major safety recall for Tesla, 2 design-related flaws in more than 475,000 vehicles. One issue concerning 2014 through 2021 Model S sedans. A defective latch could cause the front trunk to open while the car is moving. The other affects the rear-view cameras on some Model 3s. There was a mess for commuters in Los Angeles Thursday where record rainfall caused flooding at Union Station. Travelers were forced to wade through ankle-deep streams, and someone could start 2022 as a millionaire. The Powerball jackpot now sits at $500 million. The next drawing is Saturday. This is ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the rest.
Happy New Year's Eve. Starting off on the mild side this morning, warm this afternoon, partly to mostly cloudy. The high temperature in the low 70s. Now we expect our celebrations this evening to be dry. It'll likely be mostly cloudy, the low temperature in the low 60s. And then for New Year's Day, mostly cloudy, windy and warmer, the high temperature in the mid 70s. We have a cold front coming in Sunday night that brings a good chance for rain on Sunday, maybe ending as a few flakes Sunday night, Monday morning. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
What you talking about, flakes? 7:05. Right now we're at 53 degrees. We are under a dense fog advisory until about 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. So please be aware of that as you're out and about traveling and commuting to your place of business or wherever you're going. Please be aware of that fact that it may not be there, and all of a sudden you're around the curve, there it is again. So please just be cautious this morning. Our temperature of 53 going up to 69, dropping back tonight to 57. We're a little warmer tonight than we are right now. And then the rain starts coming in here by tomorrow, and we have a wet weekend perhaps, and then clearing out here for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all sunny skies. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Lawrence A. Larry Brown, age 70, of Forest City, passed away December 17th at Adrian Health Cabarrus. A memorial mass will be held at the Immaculate Conception Roman Catholic Church at 12 noon Saturday, January the 8th. The family will continue to celebrate the life of Larry with a second service in the chapel of the Paget and King Mortuary at 1:30 on Saturday, January the 8th. The family will receive friends following the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Larry Brown. Tracy Renee McKinney, age 42, passed away Friday, December 24th. A memorial service will be held 3 p.m. Sunday, January the 2nd at Gilkey Church of God. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Tracy Renee McKinney. Bobby Ray Uden, 73, of Forest City, died Wednesday, December 29th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Memorial services will be held 1 p.m. Saturday, January the 1st at Crow's Mortuary. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the mortuary. Crow's Mortuary assisting the family of Bobby Ray Uden. Candace Denise Stevens, 59, of Rutherford, passed away Monday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A family-led celebration of life will be held 2 p.m. today at Restoration Church, 131 Garden Brook Drive, Forest City. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Candace Denise Stevens. Megan Brooke Bailey, age 29, of Ellenboro, died Monday, December 27th. The funeral service will be held at 12 noon today at the Paget and King Chapel, with burial to follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends from 11 until 12 noon prior to the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Megan Brooke Bailey. Joyce McFarland, 94, of the Hopewell community, died Wednesday, December 29th. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Joyce McFarland. James Richard Williams, 78, of Union Mills, died Thursday, December 30th. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for James Richard Williams. Joe Dean Robertson, age 81, of Columbus, North Carolina, and a longtime resident of Boston, died Tuesday, December 28th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock today at Sunshine Church. The family will receive friends in the sanctuary from 1:30 until 2:45 prior to the service. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Joe Dean Robertson. Mabel Ruth Spangenberg Satrapo, 96, died at home December 24th. A memorial service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday, January the 8th at Fairfield Mountains Chapel, Buffalo Road, Lake Lure. Again, that's Mabel Ruth Spangenberg Satrape. Those are the death announcements we have this morning. Complete information can be heard this morning at 11:30 as we become available to us, 11:35. Right now it's a Bill O'Reilly Morning Update.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer steady monthly payouts plus double-digit annualized returns. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Friday, let's talk about slackers, folks who don't want to work or contribute to this country. We all know people like that. And the Democratic Party is trying to enable them in a variety of ways by giving slackers money, food, housing, you name it. I don't like this. There have to be safety nets. Some Americans cannot support themselves for a variety of reasons, and we cannot let them go down. But the safety nets have been in place since Franklin Roosevelt invented them in the 1930s, and they should be strengthened. Again, some Americans, through no fault of their own, are in dire circumstances, and we owe those citizens protection. But for people who don't want to work, I'm sorry, I don't want to give you my tax dollars. Every city in this country needs workers, yet 4.3 million slackers left their jobs in August. Now, some of them will get new jobs, and that's fine. You don't like your job? Leave it. But a lot of them won't. They'll just put their hand out, and the Democrats will put money in it. Again, that hurts America. Now this. Folks, consumer prices are the highest we've seen in 30 years, so how do we protect our money? By diversifying a portion of your portfolio with American Hartford Gold. They will deliver physical gold and silver right to your door, or they'll put it inside your 401k. So please give them a call now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you for up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Call 877-444-GOLD Gold or text GOLD to 65532. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
WCAB, the music's on us.
Pass it on. This time of upheaval is causing me to look a little deeper inside myself, looking for some goodness. And this is what I've found. I'm more aware of my neighbor's well-being. I'm saying thanks to those who help keep my life as normal as possible. My mail carrier, my grocery cashier, my delivery person. I find myself caring about others instead of just looking out for myself. And oh, my goodness, does it feel good. Goodness is in you. Pass it on. From passiton.com.
The date was December 28, 1881, a little over 2 months after the OK Corral shootout. Virgil Earp had been shot during that event, and he still walked with a limp. After the OK Corral event, Virgil had been suspended as city marshal, so he was spending more time at the Oriental Saloon. Just before midnight, Virgil left the Oriental for home. He didn't get very far when the sound of shotgun blasts broke the silence. Buckshot fractured the window behind Virgil and splintered the wood. One load hit him in his side and another in his arm. Virgil staggered back to the Oriental and collapsed in his brother Wyatt's arms. The wounds were determined to be fatal, but the doctors didn't take into consideration the strength and determination of Virgil. Virgil even refused to allow them to remove his shattered left arm. They did remove bone from the arm, making it useless. Virgil told his wife, Allie, that he had another arm to hold her. Although everyone was sure the culprits were Johnny Ringo, Ike Clanton, and Frank Stilwell, there was a hat found that supposedly belonged to Clanton, and Virgil said he recognized Stilwell running away,
At the trial, 7 cowboys said the men were in nearby Charleston at the time of the shooting, so they were let free. Incidentally, Virgil did recover from his wounds and lived a full life, often serving as a lawman. One can only imagine the sight of Virgil chasing an outlaw on horseback with his left arm waving aimlessly in the wind. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now 16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday, the 31st day of December. We're going to the phones now, and Deputy Lowry is on the phone to give us an update from the Sheriff's Department. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you, sir?
Good. Happy New Year.
You too.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 116 calls. The jail has processed 6 arrests and currently has 153 detainees in the jail. For incident reports, we have Alan Toney of Ball State reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Judy Stewart of Ball State reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Iris Head of Forest City reported an incident of larceny of motor vehicle. Under arrest reports, we have Keenan Ramsey of Forest City. He was charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Summer Harris of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on felony and failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Cole of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Latoya Logan of Union Mills, charged with misdemeanor larceny. Keith Self of Forest City, charged with notice of hearing violation and failure to pay fine. And Christopher Moore of Forest City, charged with failure to pay fine. And that's it.
Deputy Lowry, thank you very much, and I hope you have a safe day out there and a good weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
And we'll check with 911 next. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. The UNC Boston College game scheduled for Saturday has been moved to Sunday due to a COVID issue. The game moved to Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll join that 1 o'clock. And I guess the COVID issue will be gone from Saturday to Sunday, so that's what they've done with the game. So that's the new schedule right now. Here's Stacy now reporting from 911 Communications Center. Stacy, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report today?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 380 911 calls and administrative calls, which consists of 44 EMS calls. And in law enforcement, Sheriff's Office 116, Forest City 35, Rutherford 32, Lake Lure 3, and Spindle 32. Under fire calls dispatched Forest City to a motor vehicle accident and Hutto to a motor vehicle accident. That's all we have.
Thanks so much, Stacy. You have a great day and a good weekend, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You too. Bye-bye.
19 past the hour, and we'll check in now with SDO, see what's happening over there.
Jim, Have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Now, Ruby Taylor reporting from SDO. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Barbara James, Ashley Johnson, and Gina Sheehan having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Tomorrow, Glenda McDaniel, Robert Luckadoo, and Shirley Keeter. Then Sunday, Angela Keller having birthdays, and hope all these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the thighs today, knees tomorrow, and Sunday. And Jim, that's all I've got.
Thanks, Ruby. I hope your 22 is better than your 21.
I sure hope so, and yours too.
Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Danieltown SDO. There was a armed robbery at a station many of you passed probably many times, Spartanburg County gas station Thursday evening. Suspect ran away after robbing the Spartanburg sheriff's office said the robbery happened at the Little Cricket store on Chesney Highway there in Whitney. After the robbery, the suspect ran away. The sheriff's office said a canine led deputy to a set of tire tracks near the store. Deputies believe the suspect fled the area in a waiting vehicle. No one was hurt during the robbery, but this incident is an active and ongoing investigation by the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. They do not know what necessarily where to find him, but if you know anything about it, maybe he could be from up here. But that happened there on the Little Cricket there on the Chesney Highway. All right, let's head up toward the Fairfield Mountains Fire District now and talk with Gary Wilson and see if he's ready for the brand new year. Gary, how you doing?
Yeah, I wish it brings some warm weather with it, but it don't sound like it's going to, does it?
No, I tell you.
It's cold this weekend and then colder next week, sounds like. So.
Sound like winter time's here, doesn't it?
Yep. But we got a couple more days of good sunshine left, so we'll take that. In the upper 60s today and maybe tomorrow too, but then Sunday night and Monday and it all starts all over again. Somebody said it even calling for a chance of snow sometime. I hope we're wrong about that. Then keep that north of the Mason-Dixon. Be all right with me. But
that scattered shower.
Time of the year.
The scattered showers with lows around 29 on Sunday night could create some kind of something or other going on.
Some issues there.
Yeah.
Sure could.
Maybe that'll change by the time it gets here.
I hope so. But we've been quiet overnight and sitting on about 50 degrees this morning and ready for another sunshiny day. And hope everybody has a good one. Hope you have a good New Year, Jim.
Thanks. Hope you do too. Hope your 22 is better than your 21. And I'll look forward to finding out more about it next year.
All right. You take care.
Have a good one now. Gary Wilson reporting out of the Fairfield Mountains, Bills Creek community. It's 23 past 7.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Let's go to Boston, North Carolina. DeVern's over there. DeVern Upton, how you doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Hope your New Year's a good one this year.
Thank you. Yours too.
Okay. It's 55 degrees over here in Boston. Everything's quiet. The fire department had no calls. We want to wish all our firemen a Happy New Year and hope their year's a good one. And hope everybody stays safe today and has a good New Year's.
You too. You got any New Year's Eve plans? You going to party tonight over in Boston?
I think so.
Are you? Well, good.
Just with my family.
Oh, sometimes that's good.
Yeah, we've got to stay safe, don't we?
Absolutely. Well, you enjoy it. Have a safe one, and I'll see you next year.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Well, here's a man that's a party animal. We'll have to hold him down tonight. He'll be partying all night long. Bob Hodge, good morning. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine up here on this Friday morning, the last day of the year.
It is indeed.
So you're going to be out partying tonight, huh?
I'll tell you what's going to drop around when my eyelids are going to drop tonight about 10 o'clock. That's what's going to drop to my place. How about you?
Oh, that'd probably be the same thing with me there. About 9 or 10 o'clock there, I guess. Oh, everything will drop with me there. I used to be able to set up, and watch it drop, but it's hard to do it anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
Get older. But, when the older you get, the less celebrating you do, too, there. So.
Well, the things on TV, what they celebrate used to be interesting and exciting, but for me, but it's not entertaining anymore, so I don't want to sit there and watch all that other stuff they're putting out there now, so I just go on to bed.
No, some of that music stuff, I don't know. It don't appeal to me. No. I guess I'm an old country boy there or something there.
Well, I'm in your golf cart, so that's okay.
Well, Jim, up here with the fire department overnight, we answered one vehicle accident call, Hudlow and Lincoln Road, and want to say happy birthday today to Dorcas West. And birthdays on Saturday, New Year's Day, is Jessica Walker and Junior Dunkel. And, Jim, I hope you and all your family and everybody out there have a good New Year.
Thanks, Bob. You too. Happy New Year to you and Mama Jean, and I'll see you next year.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now we're transporting ourselves over to the Cherry Mountain Fire District on this Friday morning. And Sue Price, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How you doing this morning?
Foggy morning over here.
Boy, I tell you, that fog's thick out there.
Everybody needs to drive careful this morning. Give yourself a little more time to get where you're going. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. Don't have anything on my church calendar, on my personal calendar. I got a birthday for Sandy Brower, so happy birthday to Sandy. And let's see. First Brower didn't have anything today on this last day, so Fairview's got a birthday for Madison Owens and an anniversary for David and Belinda Van Dyke. So hope those folks will have a good day, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And as far as I know, I don't have any announcements. It's just white and calm over this way, looking for a good day on this last day of the year. We'll be glad to get rid of 2021, won't we?
We will indeed, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Start
2
brand
years
new.
of this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's get started new. Get something fresh.
Yeah. Well, I hope you will have a good day today, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You too, and enjoy your day, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Bye. 29 after 7, 53 degrees, cloudy and foggy outdoors.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
It's 7:30. Why don't we head up toward the Shingle Hollow Fire District, see what's happening up that way, see if they're ready to bring in the new year with loud bells and whistles and horns, and see what's happening up there. Tina, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing really good this morning. How are you, Jim?
You resting up so you can party all night?
I could not get my radio to be on the station this morning.
Oh, yeah? Mine was off kilter this morning when I got in the building here, too, so I don't know who's been messing around our radio dials, but mine was a little off kilter. I had to fine-tune it back in.
Well, up here in Shingle Hollow this morning, it's 52 degrees and foggy, very, very foggy. Shingle Hollow Fire Department did not have any calls. Hadn't heard from Green Hill this morning, so I'm hoping that means that they were quiet too. I'm very thankful for our firemen and fire ladies. On the birthday calendar, that we have Mr. Alan Bowen. Hope he has a wonderful birthday. Nobody celebrating anniversaries, so we're just calm, cool, and quiet on this New Year's Eve.
Are you resting up so you can party all night?
No.
No. You're not resting?
I'm not going to party all night.
Oh, I don't blame you at all. So I don't blame you at all. So you enjoy your day and have a good night tonight and rest up and start the brand new year tomorrow with new optimism.
Okay, and everybody be safe and God bless you.
See you now. Bye-bye. That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow Fire District this morning. So 7:33, and we're moving next to Union Mills.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
I know you're really resting up so you can party all night. I know you.
You think you know me?
You feeling good this morning?
I'm not going to party all night. You can forget it. I never did. I used to sit up and play canasta and me and my friend and watch a New Year come in, but it's been years since I done that.
Yeah, it's hard to keep my eyes open anymore.
Yeah, it is.
My biological clock gets used to getting up at 4:30. It's hard to stay awake past 9 o'clock.
That's it. I'll be in bed, and I told Todd, I said, well, it's time to turn over a new leaf. He said, I might turn over myself in the bed. I said, that's me.
You mentioned canasta. I've never played canasta in all my life.
Oh, I used to play that all the time.
Really?
But I hadn't played it in years and years and years. I ought to go see my friend and see if she still knows how to play it. I'm sure she does.
Is there special cards, or you play with the same kind of cards you'd play poker with?
Yeah, except you use jokers and everything.
Do you?
Yeah. and it takes 2 decks.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Well, I've never been much of a card player.
I love to play cards. I sit and play solitaire when I ain't putting the puzzle together. And I started the puzzle Sunday, 1,000 pieces, and I think it's the one Tina gave me for Christmas. That's the hardest thing. I've still got probably 300 pieces of it to put. It don't make no rhyme or reason. You have to put 2 or 3 pieces together before you can figure out where that goes. Because, but I ain't gonna give up. I'm not a quitter. I'll get her done.
What's the picture?
It's an outdoor scene of a big old. It's an old barn, and then there's a deer there, and then it's a big old bird feeder that's got 3 different places on it for the birds to eat, and then there's squirrels and rabbits and red birds and blue jays and all kinds of stuff. It's a pretty picture.
I bet it would be pretty once it's done, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I've got 2/3 of it done, but it's give me a fit.
Well,
but that's all right.
You can finish it next year.
Yeah, I can finish it next year, and that's probably what'll happen. But we hope everybody's having a good day. I've got 54 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries and ways of announcement. Tonight, ring in the new year with the Union Mills Learning Center starting at 5.
Well, I believe we lost our signal to Union Mills. She just sort of cut off right in midair there, so. Okay, well, we'll don't know. There you are. You're back. What happened?
We'll be in 2022 and tonight after midnight. I hope it's a lot better than this one's been.
Boy, don't I too. I tell you right now.
It's just been a time.
We just have to do a whole lot of praying this year.
But we'll weather through it.
Well, I hope you
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. We lost you there a couple of times, but I think you're back now. We got a good signal going. I don't know what's happening up there. But anyway, you have a great day and good night, and Happy New Year to you, and may all your blessings be rendered. Well, we keep losing her up somehow or other. But anyway, so long, Brenda. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.
Same to you.
7:37 here on this Friday, freaky Friday morning. Thank goodness it's finally Friday, friends. I don't know what happened to that signal, but it kept coming and going. But we were able to finish our conversation with Brenda Kelly from Union Mills, and we're going over to Ellenboro next.
Hey folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
And we got the gate open already over here across the road and ready for you if you're ready to come in and do some shopping with our neighbors. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed and Supplies. Now let's head over toward Ellenboro, our last stop of the hour. And Luther Gilligan, good morning.
Good morning, you. A little foggy day down here this morning.
Boy, I tell you, I can't even see you so foggy.
I know. I can see you. Oh, that's about all I can see.
Yeah.
But it's a good morning, though. It's a quiet morning, not a whole lot happening. City Fire Department had 2 medical calls yesterday. Didn't have anything last night. Everyone got to sleep. So that was good. Not a whole lot going on. One was happy birthday today. Miss Vivian Skipper, she's having birthday today. And and Greg Madigan over there in Robertson, they're having a wedding anniversary day. So hope these people have a great day and enjoy their day. Hope you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Happy New Year, Luther, and I'll see you next year.
All right, take care now.
All right, bye. And that's the wrap-up of our county circle this morning with our news. Relatively quiet, which we're glad to hear that for a change. After all, we've happened the past few days. It's good to have quiet nights. But it's time now for birthdays and anniversaries on this last day of December. Were you almost a New Year's baby? Were you born on this date or married on this date? Let us know about it so we can give you a big shout-out. 287-3356 is the phone number to call, and we'll find out more about who's celebrating birthdays today in just a moment. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled A-R-Y-E-E.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Now, they are closed for the holidays today and tomorrow. They will be back in action next week, so get your new year started off with consultation there with Andrew Tisdale. Now, if you're hungry this morning, Granny B's got breakfast. Yeah, they start breakfast as early as 7 o'clock now, 7 until 11 with the best breakfast you could possibly think of. And why don't you give it a try, see what you think? Maybe take a bag of breakfast home with you for your family. Maybe a bag of those delicious Daylight Donuts. It'd make them happy to end this year on a sweet note. Granny B's, they're in Spindale, right beside Shake Shop, and I know you'll love the food coming out of Granny B's kitchens.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthdays today include Gail Crawford, Gail 64, Mallory Blankenship's having a birthday, Donna Mills, and Brittany Mills, mother and daughter. Donna's the mother, Brittany's the daughter. They live down in the Chase community. Sharon Date has one tomorrow, so happy birthday, a New Year's baby, Sharon Date. Congratulations. Other birthdays today include 1937 birthday for Anthony Hopkins, 1943 John Denver. He was a singer, as you know. He died in 1997. 1948 Donna Summer was born, and she died in 2012. 1959 Val Kilmer was born. 1977 Donald Trump Jr. was born. His birthday is today. Some of the events for today include in 1781 the first U.S. bank opened, Bank of North America. 1904 the first New Year's celebration in Times Square, New York started. 1907 the first ball drop at Times Square to signal New Year's. 1946 Harry Truman officially proclaimed the end of World War II. And it's Universal Hour of Peace today, No Interruptions Day, National Champagne Day, and Make Up Your Mind Day, and day to turn that new leaf over and decide what you want to do next for the brand new year. Just a side note, Washburn Store is closed until January the 10th for much needed rest. So congratulations to them and Happy New Year to our good friends at Washburn Store. They will be closed until the 10th. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
The Olympic marathon run in Mexico City in 1968 was just about over. A few thousand people were all that were left in the stands. The winner of the event, Mamo Walde of Ethiopia, had crossed the finish line over an hour earlier. As the remaining spectators were about to leave, a lone figure was being escorted through the opening leading into the stadium. This person was the last of the contestants. He was limping badly from an ugly flesh wound on his knee, which he suffered in a fall. Pain filled every halting step he made. As John Stephen Akwari of Tanzania entered the stadium for the final 400 meters, the remaining spectators applauded him as though he had won the race. After crossing the finish line, Akwari walked slowly and somewhat dejectedly toward the dressing room. His Olympic dream had come to a nightmarish end. Someone asked him why he didn't quit following his fall when all hope of a medal was lost. His response was both encouraging and insightful. He said, "My country did not send me 7,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 7,000 miles to finish it." Life demands similar courage and fortitude. The reasons to quit are numerous. People often suggest we take what appears to be the easy way out. However, what appears to be the easiest solution is not always the best answer. Our greatest fulfillment may be in finishing well. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
WCAB, the music's on us.
Pass it on. This time of upheaval is causing me to look a little deeper inside myself. Looking
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Strong winds combined with drought conditions contributed to the fast-moving wildfires that destroyed almost 600 homes in Boulder County, Colorado on Thursday. The mayor of hard-hit Superior, Clint Folsom, tells ABC News,
there are literally hundreds of homes that burned up in a matter of minutes.
Crews are hoping to be able to do damage assessments in the area today. So far, at least 7 people were hurt. COVID-19 infections reaching a new record to close out the year. The daily average of new cases, 316,000, 4 times as many as 1 month ago. Vaccines and boosters are blunting the worst outcomes, but it is impacting the workforce, especially at hospitals. Dr. Faisal Masood with Houston Methodist Hospital says,
we have a deluge of patients showing up in our hospitals and emergency in a hospital, and we have less workforce.
It's also impacting the airline workforce. Over 1,000 flights have already been canceled today, and the FAA says the situation not expected to get better for a matter of weeks. Sarah Nelson is a union leader for flight attendants.
It's not easy on us either, and we really want to make the operation work.
ABC News has learned the FDA is expected to expand its authorization for Pfizer's vaccine booster to kids aged 12 to 15. President Biden spending New Year's with his family in Wilmington, Delaware. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says that's where he made an important phone call Thursday, speaking with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
In the nearly hour-long call, the White House said Biden warned Putin that the U.S. and its allies will respond decisively, threatening economic sanctions if Russia further invades Ukraine. A Putin aide said sanctions could lead to a complete rupture of relations between the two countries.
A Tesla recall impacting almost 500,000 vehicles. One problem concerning a defective latch on 2014 through 2021 Model S. The other impacting rear-view camera on Model 3s. You're listening to ABC News.
And paid for by Complete Car Care.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
A memorial service is set for next week for the former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. The longtime lawmaker from Nevada died Tuesday from pancreatic cancer. He'll be honored January 8th at a performing arts center in Las Vegas. 2021 saw violent crime rates rise in America's 4 largest cities, New York, L.A., Chicago, and Houston. But one of the country's fastest growing communities has bucked that trend.
When he was picked to lead the Dallas Police Department a year ago this week, Eddie Garcia knew he was coming into a city whose crime rates were soaring.
It's not just the numbers, it's the perception of crime.
The challenge, as he saw it,
both the perception and the numbers have to go in a better direction.
A year later, the numbers at least have. Violent crime here has fallen 9% this year. The homicide rate is 12% lower than in 2020. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
When it comes to mail delivery, 2021 was not a repeat of 2020. The U.S. Postal Service and other private shippers say the holiday season went smoothly for the most part. Analyst ShipMatrix finding nearly 97% of post office shipments were on time during a 2-week period this month. College football's playoff semifinals take place today. Number 1 Alabama meets Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl. Then it's Michigan and Georgia in the Orange Bowl. And after winning the Duke's Mayo Bowl Thursday, South Carolina players dumped 4.5 gallons of mayonnaise on their coach, Shane Beamer. This is ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Happy New Year's Eve. We're starting off mild this morning, warm this afternoon with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Now, celebrations tonight I think will be okay. Partly to mostly cloudy. It will be mild and just about a 20% chance for a sprinkle. Lows Saturday morning will be in the low 60s. High temperatures for New Year's Day in the mid-70s. It's mostly cloudy. It's windy. And then for the day on Sunday, we expect rain, and there could be quite a bit of it. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
We are still cloudy and still foggy in some sections of our county this morning. Thick fog in the area. That advisory in effect until around 9:30 or 10 o'clock today. And we're 53 degrees, warming up to about 69 with west-northwest winds about 6 miles per hour. Now, the wind does get a little strong for us coming later on in next week. Gusting winds. Matter of fact, Saturday night, gusting winds up to 16 miles per hour, 19 miles per hour on Saturday. And we have some isolated thunderstorms developing for Sunday. And then Sunday night, scattered showers, lows around 29 with wind gusting to 20 miles per hour. Chance of precip about 40%. And at 29 degrees and precip, who knows what may happen. But look out for Monday, January 3rd, sunny skies back up to 50, 49 on Tuesday, and 55 on Wednesday. And the temperature at nighttime will be below freezing each night. So we got wintertime knocking on our door with a brand new year coming up, 2022. We hope you're ready for that, ready to push away all the 2021 distractions we've had and look forward to a more positive 2022. At least I'm hoping that's the case. Well, you can do yourself a favor today if you're out and about. Stop by Scrappy's Food and Fuel. If you'd like a great hot dog or a hand-breaded chicken tender and onion rings or maybe a juicy hamburger, then your next stop should be Scrappy's Food and Fuel. They have a full breakfast served Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. until 2 o'clock, Saturdays from 7 until 2. Those hot handmade fresh biscuits are ready as early as 6 o'clock each morning. So you really need to check out their menu for other choices as well. I've been there. I've had their meals. I know they're good. The store is open until 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday for your favorite snacks and gasoline fill-ups. Scrappy's Food and Fuel is on the corner of Chase High Road and Highway 221. Scrappy's Food and Fuel, just below Florence Creek Baptist Church. Locally owned and locally operated. Tell them Jim Bishop sent you in there. You'd like to have one of their hot dogs maybe, or maybe a breakfast biscuit. I'll be back with some news from here and there, including a look at some New Year's resolutions coming up.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
Well, let's look at some news from here and there. The Daily Courier is reporting about COVID-19 continues its local impact in 2021. With the 2021 coming to a close, COVID-19 continues to have that impact on daily lives, according to some folks in Rutherford County. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to have a severe impact on our county operations, according to County Manager Steve Garrison. He said recently, quote, Emergency Management Director Frankie Hamrick and his team continue to assist the Foothills Health District as needed for COVID-19 testing and vaccination events on top of their other duties. COVID-19 also continues to impact the ability to purchase and acquire equipment and supplies as needed, and the general costs for these items have increased. Emergency Medical Services has especially been hit hard with the closure of 2 nonprofit rescue squads that were serving the county, according to Garrison. Despite the COVID pandemic, there were positive signs in 2021 for Rutherford County's economy. Sales tax and property tax receipts have shown growth. Garrison also points out that based on reports of the County Building Inspections Department, Register of Deeds, Environmental Health, and local realtors, the number of new home constructions, home sales, and property transfers continue to increase, indicating growth for Rutherford County. County Commission Chairman Brian King says 2022 looks very promising, noting new business investments in Rutherford County that took place in 2021, which he expects to continue. King said, we expect to have at least 2 companies seriously considering Rutherford County as their new home. For example, we had a public hearing last month for a company which will employ at least 250 people with an average salary of $69,000. He also noted that in 2022, construction will begin on the new soccer complex and the new RS Middle School will open in the fall. Throughout the past 2 years of the pandemic, Rutherford County, like other rural areas, saw an unexpected burst of new visitors. This has meant overall increases in occupancy tax receipts, sales tax receipts, and consumer spending within Rutherford County. Investments made in local tourism assets, which increase the quality of life for residents and attract new visitors to the area, have made a difference, local leaders say. Various hiking and bike trails such as the Thermal Belt Rail Trail and Purple Martin Greenway are widely used by locals and out-of-town visitors seeking outdoor recreation activities. And we welcome the new folks to our area. Well, one of the sheriff's candidates that has been announced that he will run for candidate has decided to bypass the Republican primary. Tony Robertson recently announced he is now bypassing the primary process and will seek the office of sheriff, running as an unaffiliated candidate. The filing process, which began in December, was abruptly halted by the courts and has not yet resumed. However, the date for the primary has been rescheduled for May 17th. To be on the ballot in November as an unaffiliated candidate, Robertson must gather approximately 1,800 signatures from voters registered in Rutherford County. The exact number he will need will not be known until next week, as it must be 4% of the total registered voters as of January the 1st. Robertson explained his reason for not running in the Republican primary and running as an independent in a recent social media posting. He cited the potential crowded field of candidates and denounced the leadership of the local Republican Party as being controlled by a church in Spindale. He is part of the Drain the Swamp crowd of Republicans, and he says he was dismayed at the leadership and does not want to associate with them. Robertson said he will run in the general election in November 2022 as an unaffiliated candidate for sheriff. He said he maintains his status as a Republican, as he was not required to change his registration in order to run for office unaffiliated. The signatures are not votes for the candidate and do not mean the candidate is being endorsed by those who sign the petition. Not wanting to run as a Republican because of certain members of a church might be involved in it, it's sort of a scary kind of way to run your life. What if those folks needed the sheriff's attention? Would that sheriff, if elected, who dislikes them, would he not respond to them because he doesn't like maybe the way they worship? And who's next? Would that particular candidate or any candidate who dislikes a particular church, would my church be next, Florence Baptist Church? Would they disassociate themselves with me because I'm a member of Florence Baptist Church and they're a member of some other church? Who's next? Would it be Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Would they excommunicate themselves from that congregation because they dislike the way they worship? Or what about the Jehovah's Witness? What about the Church of God or Independent Baptist or any other denomination? Where does it stop if you cannot associate with people who you disagree with in ways of worship? Then it's sort of scary to think that a person can represent all the people. Meanwhile, down in Spartanburg, a suspect ran away after robbing a Spartanburg County gas station Thursday evening. The Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office said the robbery happened at the Little Cricket store on Chesney Highway in Whitney. After the robbery, the suspect ran away. The Sheriff's Office said a K-9 led deputy to a set of tire tracks near the store. Deputies believe the suspect fled the area in a waiting vehicle. No one was hurt during the robbery. The incident is an active and ongoing investigation by the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. Meanwhile, down in my old stomping ground in Gaffney, a Gaffney business owner and his wife were arrested Wednesday after deputies seized 400 marijuana edibles. Second search took place at the owner's residence located in the 600 block of Grassy Pond Road. According to the Sheriff's Office, undercover police officers were sent to Carousel Music numerous times over the past 6 months to purchase products from the store. Deputies said the product purchased were sent off for testing, and the lab results showed the products being sold were marijuana, even though they were labeled as less than 0.3% of the THC. The sheriff's office said narcotics officers recovered evidence that the owner was buying empty bags and then placing his own marijuana in the bags and putting homemade labels on the packages to indicate they contained less than 0.3% of THC. Deputies seized over 400 individual packages of marijuana edibles and the THC vape cartridges from the business. Deputies then seized $159,898.95, 2 sets of digital scales, several packages of green leafy plant materials, cash and count machines, coin sorting machines, along with 2 record books at the home. The sheriff's office said Stephen David Petty, 50, was arrested at the business and was charged with trafficking marijuana 10 pounds, but less than 100 pounds in distribution of marijuana. Sierra Petty, 45, was arrested and charged with trafficking and marijuana 10 pounds, but less than 100 pounds in distribution of marijuana. They are currently spending the New Year's Eve in the local slammer there in Gaffney. Surely stuff like that don't happen in Gaffney. Surely not. It's 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. We'll look at how to make New Year's resolutions that you won't break and some of the most sought-after resolutions for the new year right after this.
You need an insurance agent you can talk to? Call Insurance Service Associates at 828-245-5301. We want to help you get the best out of your insurance dollar. As a trusted choice independent agent, we shop your coverage with several companies to give you the best value. More companies, better choices, best rate. Come see us at our new office at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call us at 828-245-5301.
McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services has been a family business since 1953, offering care, dignity, honor, and unique opportunities for families to create healing moments after a loss. John McMahon and his fine staff bring experience, coupled with perspective, to help pay tribute in a traditional or unique way. Call 287-4715 or visit online today at McMahansFuneralHome.com. There you can view current obituary information or pre-plan for yourself or a loved one. McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, offering healing to the community through burial and cremation services, grief support, whether it's a funeral or a memorial service. McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, 249 South Main Street in Rutherfordton, know the importance of ceremony and will guide you in honoring the life and memories of your loved one. Call McMahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services today at 287-4715.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
Now, Larry McDermott is a retired North Carolina farmer and journalist. He's a good writer, good journalist. I don't always agree with his philosophy, but he does write well. And here's one he put in this week's paper about New Year's resolution, and some that we can abide by and try to do. It says, always return the shopping cart to the cart corral. When opening a door, let others go in before you. Support local businesses. Say thank you. He says, I might vote for a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, but I am going to vote. Be a vigilant anti-litter person. Write truth, oppose evil. Always keep a tight cinch and never let your saddle outrun you. Now bring on 2022. Larry McDermott, good write. I thought those were pretty good for us all to try to follow, particularly we could add others to that, but we don't have time to do all that. Here are the top 10 most common New Year's resolutions and how to follow through them. Every year, millions of people make New Year's resolutions, hoping to spark positive change in their lives. I do. I bet you do too. The recurring themes each year include a more active approach to health and fitness, improved finances, and learning new things for personal and professional development, Chances are more than a couple of the top 10 most common resolutions will look familiar to you. See if any of these register with you in terms of resolutions that you've made. And I know I've made about all of these. Some of them didn't apply to me, but some of them do. For instance, number 1, exercise more. Yep, I've turned that one back over again. I'm going to try that back up again. Lose weight, that's one of mine. Get organized. Oh, yeah, buddy, I need that one. Learn a new skill or hobby. I may take that one on. Live life to the fullest. I certainly will try to do that. Save more money. Spend less money. Yep. Quit smoking. Well, I've never been a smoker, but that doesn't affect me, but maybe it does you. Quit smoking for the new year. It'll be healthier for you. Spend more time with family and friends. Travel more and read more. Those are the top 10 most common New Year's resolutions. Despite the best intentions, once the glow of a fresh new year wears off, many people struggle to make good on their plans. According to a study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology, only 46% of people who made New Year's resolutions were successful. That means over half of the people who set a goal for of the new year will fail. Doesn't mean you have to, because most people do, but a lot of people do. The study also involved non-resolvers, people who did not make a New Year's resolution but had a goal they wanted to achieve that year. Only 4% of non-resolvers were successful at achieving the goals, a far bleaker result than those who did make a New Year's resolution. Making the resolutions, it gives us a goal to strive for and to reach for. If you want to realize your New Year's resolution this year, mentally prepare for the change and set your mind that you're going to make it happen. Even though we may falter along the way, we can always pick back up and start all over and try it again. But don't say, I'm not going to do it. I never accomplished it anyway. No, don't do that. Some of the New Year's resolutions, hopefully, that we can accomplish this year nationally. Eliminate the COVID mandates would be a good one. Choose policies and not personalities. Replace the Biden administration's socialist agenda with free market policies. Stop the southern border atrocities and restore military preparedness and morale. Those would be some our nation should follow through. It's 22 past the hour of 8 o'clock. Coming up next, the Sheriff's Report with Deputy Lowry. Meanwhile, if I don't get back in here before a sports update, let me wish you all folks a happy New Year. Be safe, be careful, and think positive through the year, and think about doing something good for yourself and helping someone else do some good things for themselves. Now here's Deputy Lowry.
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 116 calls. The jail has processed 6 arrests and currently has 153 detainees in the jail. For incident reports, we have Alan Toney of Ball State reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Judy Stewart of Ball State reported an incident of misdemeanor larceny. Iris Head of Forest City reported an incident of larceny of motor vehicle. Under arrest reports, we have Keenan Ramsey of Forest City. He was charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Summer Harris of Ellenboro, charged with failure to appear on felony and failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Cole of Forest City, charged with failure to appear on misdemeanor. Latoya Logan of Union Mills, charged with misdemeanor larceny. Keith Self of Forest City, charged with notice of hearing violation and failure to pay fine. And Christopher Moore of Forest City, charged with failure to pay fine. And that's it.
Thank you, Deputy Lowry. Well, the Tar Heel game scheduled for tomorrow against Boston College has been moved to Sunday, and we'll have that starting about, we'll get out of Spencer Baptist Church into that one because that'll be starting here on Sunday. They've been switching around and canceling some because of COVID in some of the other teams. I don't think the Tar Heel folks have been affected by that, but the teams they're playing have been affected, so they've had to call off things and reschedule. So that one scheduled for tomorrow against Boston has been moved to Sunday afternoon. Have a wonderful day, great weekend. Be safe out there, and if you're going to be driving, don't drink. If you're going to be drinking, don't drive. And just look after yourself because we care about you, folks. I love you, and God bless you, and Happy New Year.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Carolina Hurricanes goalie Antti Raanta, the backup, made 26 saves for his first shutout in a Carolina uniform as the team returned to the ice last night for the first time in nearly 2 weeks and beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-0 at PNC Arena.
I was fortunate enough to get the shutout today, and you know, it's pretty special, especially playing at home and, you know, getting the win and getting the shutout.
Head coach Rod Brindamore says it showed that they've not been on the ice since December 18th, but special teams were the X factor as they scored 3 times in the power play and added another goal shorthanded.
We were certainly rusty with our decision making and how quick we were making plays and lots of turnovers, but their penalty kill was great and our goaltender was nice. He made some big saves early, keep us in the game, and then the power play obviously connected. So definitely a good win.
What started out as a promising UNC football season ended in disappointment yesterday as South Carolina defeated the Tar Heels 38-21 in the Duke Mayo Bowl at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Coach Mack Brown said the Heels couldn't recover from a bad start.
Kids were disappointed in the locker room. They were disappointed in the whole thing. They understood it's not great. South Carolina just did a better job today than we did in about every area.
Sam Howell threw 1 touchdown in what may have been his final game as the Heels QB. Other bowl game action on Thursday. Number 11 Michigan State rallied from 11 down to beat number 13 Pittsburgh 31-21 in the Peach Bowl. The Music City Bowl in Nashville went to overtime. Purdue emerging over Tennessee 48-45, and Wisconsin beat Arizona in the Las Vegas Bowl. Today, the college football playoff. Number 4 Cincinnati taking on the top-seeded Alabama Crimson Tide in the Cotton Bowl. Kickoff from Arlington at 3:30. That will be followed by 3rd-ranked Georgia and number 2 Michigan in the Orange Bowl. That kickoff slated for 7:30 from Miami. This is NCN Sports.
If the power goes out for your business, are you prepared with a backup? Without electricity, security systems go down, refrigerated items spoil, and customers are turned away. In other words, your business loses money. Control your power. Control your business with a Generac automatic standby generator. Alternative Power is North Carolina's Generac generator experts. In fact, all Alternative Power does is provide backup power. Financing options are available. See more at alternativepower.com.
At alternativepower.com.
North Carolina's veterans are in trouble. 1 in 4 have no access to affordable health insurance. These people risk their lives for us in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now it is time for us to honor them and their service. North Carolina, we can do right for our veterans. We can close the coverage gap and help those who served our nation get the care that they need and deserve. To learn more about closing the coverage gap, go to careforcarolina.com. That's care, the number 4, Carolina.com.
NBA action last night, just a couple games on the schedule, 3 in fact. The Philadelphia 76ers spoiled Kevin Durant's return to the lineup by beating the Nets 110-102 in Brooklyn. Joel Embiid scored 34 points, including converting a tie-breaking 3-point play with 3:14 left to go. Durant still finished with 33 points in his first game in 2 weeks, having missed 3 games in health and safety protocols. Elsewhere last night, the Milwaukee Bucks extended their winning streak to 5 games, 136-118 over the Orlando Magic. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Bucks, scoring with 33 points, while Jrue Holiday had 25 and Chris Middleton had 22. Bradley Beal had 29 points and 10 helpers in his return from the NBA's health and safety protocols, leading the Washington Wizards to a 110-93 final over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Happy New Year's Eve. We're starting off mild this morning, warm this afternoon with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Now, celebrations tonight, I think will be okay. Partly to mostly cloudy. It will be mild and just about a 20% chance for a sprinkle. Lows Saturday morning will be in the low 60s. High temperatures for New Year's Day in the mid-70s. It's mostly cloudy. It's windy. And then for the day on Sunday, we expect rain, and there could be quite a bit of it. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
It is still cloudy and still foggy in some sections, and we're still at 53 degrees, warming up, though, nicely to about 69 before the day's over with. We hope you enjoy the day. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherford, serving the foothills of the Carolinas from 100.9 FM, 590 AM. And we're WCAB. We thank you for making WCAB your radio station or choice for the foothills. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Michael and Robin Henderson.
Good morning, Rutherford County. My name is Michael Henderson. I'm here with my wife, Robin,
And we're here to share with you today some of the truths and experiences that God has done in our lives. One area that we want to share with you today is about faith. I want to share the scripture in Romans, the 7th chapter. It says, "For in the gospel, a righteousness which God ascribes is revealed, both springing from faith and leading to faith, disclosed through the way of faith, that aroused to more faith, as it is written, the man who through faith is just and upright shall live by faith." And this is the place that God is teaching us how to live, is how to live by faith. Our trust in him. Through some of the experiences that we're going to share, we hope that you'll see how God has helped us to be able to walk through faith. And one of the things that, where does faith come from? The Word of God said in Romans the 10th chapter, Romans the 1st chapter, verse 10, so faith comes by hearing. What is told and what is heard comes by the preaching of the message that comes from the lips of Christ the Messiah. And one of the things that we have learned is that faith comes by hearing God's word, hearing God's voice, and letting God speak to us. And through some of our experience, that's where we come to trust God and believe God, that God is going to move on our behalf. And I want to share with you an experience that I had when I was 22 years old. I had got in a financial situation. I basically got in debt. And my debt was just taking me over. I mean, just taking over in my life. And through that experience, I mean, I had to really cry out to God to let God show me how to trust him, how to come out of this situation. And one of the things that happened was, you know, I had listened to someone that gave me some not so good advice, and I made some decisions. And, you know, my mother and father always taught me to pay my bills and pay them on time. And that's the way you establish your credit. But I made some decisions where I took my bill money, did some other things with it, and the debt got just consumed me. It got larger than me. And I remember one day I was sitting there crying out. I said, Lord, I don't even know what to do. I owe more money than what I make. And I started asking God, praying to God what to do and everything, but I got up in my head and I made a decision that one day I took my tithes. I made a decision to take my tithes and start using my tithes to pay my bills with, to get caught up on my debt. I thought that was a way of getting caught up on my bills and everything. And I quickly found out that that was not the way that I needed to go, because my debt got worse and worse and worse. And I know through that experience, I know it was like in the book of Haggai, 1st chapter, there's a scripture that says, that it was like taking my money and putting it in a bag with a hole in it. Because I began to start, you know, I was so caught up in the fear and worry of how I was going to pay my bills that I didn't take hold of, you know, really trusting God. I was trying to figure out how to do it myself. So one thing I did, like I said, I took the tithes and I started trying to pay my bills and everything. And it was not working out. This mountain was getting bigger than me. I mean, day and night, I would worry about how I was going to pay my bills. The bill collectors were calling me on the phone, trying to get me to let them know when I was going to pay my bills. And I mean, I didn't have an answer because my bills got way above me. My debt got way above me. But one thing God really started speaking to me was in Malachi. This is where God really started getting to my heart about the situation I was in. Malachi, the 8th chapter, the verse 3, the 8th chapter of Malachi says, "Will a man rob or defraud God? And that was one of the things that went in my heart, is that I was defrauding God. I was deceiving myself to believe that, just borrowing the money from God, borrowing the debt, borrowing my tithes to pay my bills. I was deceived to believe that, I could pay the bills, get caught up and everything, then I'll start back paying my tithes. But really what I was doing, I was digging a hole more deeper, and I was going down. And one of the things that, God showed me in, I'm going to read the rest, but you say, in what way have we robbed God? And he said, you are cursed with a curse, for you have robbed me, even the whole nation. Bring all the tithes, the whole tenth of your income into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house, and prove me now. And that was one of the things right there. When I read that script, this verse this part of this verse in verse 10, it says, prove me now by it, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing more than you have room enough to receive it. And one of the things that when I read that verse, it was just like God was wanting me to put him to a test, to test him, to prove him, to see if I submitted my heart and obeyed God and went back to paying my tithes, then God would move on my behalf. And he said, I will rebuke the devourer for your name's sake. And that when God said he would rebuke the devourer, that right there went right into my heart, to show me that God would rebuke the devourer. If I would pay my tithes, that God would take care of the situation. And one example that took place was, I had made a decision that I was going to go to church and I was going to pay my tithes. I was going to start back paying my tithes. And, the devil started speaking to me, how are you going to pay your tithes? You owe more money than what you make and everything. But I locked it in my heart that I wanted to do the will of God. And it was the will of God for me to pay my tithes. And so I made a decision that Sunday morning, I was going to go to church and I was going to pay my tithes. And on my way to church, that week I had taken care of paying my bills, and I had my tithe money left over. But one thing I really did not consider was that I had to put gas in my car. I was on my way to church that morning, and the gas, my low fuel light came on. My drive to church was about 30 minutes. And when I was on the way, low fuel light come on, and then the devil will come to you and say, well, how can you pay your tithes? I mean, you don't have money to put gas in your car. But I had made a decision that I was going to obey God. I was going to pay my tithes. And I pulled up at the church, and I mean, every step of the way, I didn't know how I was going to, 30 minutes to church, I didn't know how I was going to get home. I didn't have the money to put the gas in the car, and I didn't know who I could borrow the money from. But I went and I paid my tithes. And I know right after church, there was a friend of mine that came up to me, and this friend offered to take me out to lunch. We went out to lunch. I was able to go to lunch, and later on that day, we came back from evening service. And when service was over with, I was sitting here thinking, I said, God, I obeyed what you said, and I'm going to trust you that I'm going to be able to drive home and not run out of gas. But there was a lady there at the church that came to me, and she asked me if I could give her a ride home, her and her grandchildren a ride home. And I told her, I said, I would like to do that, but I don't have the money to put gas in my car. And she said, don't worry about that. I'll put you some gas in the car. So we went to the gas station, and one of the things, because of my obedience, she went in there and she filled my whole tank up. And not only did I have enough gas to take her home, and also to get me home, but I had enough fuel to be able to go to work all week long off of, just by obeying God. And I learned that through that experience that as God began to, that experience began to arouse more faith in me to trust God for anything. Every circumstance, anything I went through, it started arousing more faith in me. And that's the one thing that when you trust God, I started seeing that as you begin to trust God and you begin to obey God, God did exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he would he would open up the windows and pour out a blessing more than I have room enough to receive it. But he also said that he would rebuke the devourer for my name's sake. And I saw where God went in, even that mountain of finances. He caused my debt collectors to work with me to get my finances back in order. And I've seen God move. And it was a miracle that I saw take place before my eyes. And it just built that trust in my heart that I can trust God. I can trust God through anything. And, even when I was a couple of years later after that, God put a desire in my heart to buy a house. And I didn't know how back then I believed that you can't buy a home if it's not two incomes coming forth to pay for it. It had to be a husband and wife to pay for it. And I never could believe that a single man could own a home. But God put that desire in my heart. And I started going forth to submit my heart and let God show me how to get a hold of it. And I went out and I looked for a house. And the first day I went out to look for a house, God showed me the house that he wanted me to buy. And like I said, only thing I know, God put that desire in my heart. I didn't have the money really in my opinion, I didn't have the money to buy a house, but I just believed God, what God said. And I went in, and every step of the way, God guided my footsteps every step of the way. And out of that, here I was. I was 26 years old at that time. And here I was 26 years old buying a house because God said it. And that is what I've been locking my heart into, what me and Robin have really locked our hearts into. Whatever God tells us that we can do, that's what we lock our hearts into, that we can do it.
And so when we got married, it was a very strong desire in our hearts that one day that we would own a house. And in the beginning, it didn't look like the finances were there. It didn't look like our circumstances were changed. But God gave me a scripture in Romans 4, 20 through 22, and it talks about Abraham. And we know that Abraham was a man of faith and that it was accredited to him as righteousness. And it says, no unbelief or distrust made him waver, doubtingly question concerning the promise of God. But he grew strong and was empowered by faith, and he gave praise and glory to God, fully satisfied and assured that God was able and mighty to keep his word and to do what he had promised. That is why his faith was credited to him as righteousness, right standing with God. And that's one thing that was in Michael and I's heart, is that we were going to praise God. It didn't matter what it looked like. It didn't matter if it took 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. If the fig tree never blossomed, we were going to praise God, and we were going to thank him for what he had done for us. And but we kept turning our hearts to God, and we kept letting him do a work in our hearts, a work of faith in our hearts, that we were believing God and we were going to trust him. And Michael has a side business doing pressure washing. And I just watched God would give him a job here and give him a job there, and then another job and more jobs and bigger jobs. And I remember the first time that we could afford to buy a new washer and dryer, because we had Michael's before we even got married, and it was like 10 years plus old and rusted. And that was just a stepping stone of faith for us. And then we were able to get a new dining room table and chairs and a hutch, and then later on get a new bedroom set. And I just saw that as stepping stones for faith for us to start believing God even for our house. And that we were, like it says, we were fully satisfied that God was going to keep his promise. And actually God gave us that promise this year. At the beginning of the year, we did purchase our own house, and we are just so grateful and thankful to God, and we are just overjoyed and just so grateful for his faithfulness. Another area of faith for me was about 3 years ago. God put it in my heart for me to start a small business and a side job doing being a nail tech. And I had done like my friends just for fun, but I never thought about doing it as a job. And I just heard that still small voice. And but that meant that I had to go to college. And I had never stepped foot in a college campus, and I wasn't in my 20s anymore. I wasn't in my 30s anymore. I was actually 45. So that was a big step of faith for me. And but God was really with me, and the grace was there, and it was really wonderful. And even taking my boards, I remember taking my written test and just crying out to God for each answer, and him just helping me. And I even remember halfway through just putting my head, bow my head to Jesus and praying, you've got to help me, show me each answer. And even taking my practicals, I was even more big. But I was so grateful to hear his voice, because I saw that I got to experience Jesus and walk with Jesus in a different place, in a new way that I never would have been able to. And now I just love all my customers that I do, and it's like an outreach, because they come in and they share with me about their families, their mothers, their fathers, brothers, sisters, their children, and I get to tell them, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for them, whether they're going through surgeries or sick time, happy times, sad times, you know, we can share with each other, and it's just real sweet fellowship. And I've been thinking about a part of this verse to a song that God gave to one of our men in our church, and it says, and with faith as our foundation, in every trial we will stand. And we know that these past couple of years have been trying times, and whether or not you got COVID, or you know a loved one that did, or a job lost, I know that there are many people out there that had to have faith in God to make it through whatever your circumstance was. And there is a scripture in James 1:3-4, and it says, be assured and understand that the trial and proving of your faith bring out endurance and steadfastness and patience. But let endurance and steadfastness have full play and do a thorough work, so that you may be people perfectly and fully developed, with no defect, lacking in nothing. And you know, that last verse there, you know, talks to have that faith, but then it gives us those characteristics of, you know, people being perfectly developed. And I was seeing that as Jesus is getting us ready and getting our hearts ready for when he comes back, because we know that Jesus is coming back soon, and we want our hearts ready with him. And that is the completion of our faith, is when we are in heaven with Jesus. And another scripture that I have is in Ephesians 3:17-20, and it says, may Christ through your faith actually dwell, settle down, abide, make his permanent home in your hearts. May you be rooted deep in love and founded securely in love, that you may have the power and be strong to apprehend and grasp with all the saints, God's devoted people, the experience of that love, what is the breadth, the length, the height, and the depth of it, that you may really come to know practically through experience for yourselves the love of Christ, which far surpasses mere knowledge without experience, that you may be filled through all your being unto all the fullness of God, may have the richest measure of the divine presence, and become a body wholly filled and flooded with God himself. And that's what Michael and I are doing today. We want to share with you the experiences that we've had with Jesus. And it says right there, it says, may Christ through your faith come and actually dwell and settle down in your hearts. And the most recent experience for me is I started a new job about 2 months ago, and this is my main job. And the thing about me is going through school, I had a hard time in math. It was my worst subject. I didn't understand it. I couldn't get it. I was in special classes, And God gave me a job doing accounting. And really, that is the way God is, because I never thought that I could or would do anything like that. But, you know, it says in the scriptures that in our weaknesses, God is made strong. And I go into work every day with faith in my heart that He's going to show me, that He's going to teach me, that He's going to be there to show me how to do this. And it is not in my ability or my strength. And in Philippians 2:13, it says, not in your own strength, for it is God who is all the while effectively at work in you, energizing and creating you the power and desire both to will and to work for His good pleasure and satisfaction and delight. And that is what He is doing for me. And this company that I'm working for, they have been such a blessing beyond. And when I was reading up in Ephesians, there's a scripture right after that, and it talks about that God surpasses our highest hopes, our dreams, our desires, and God has truly done that in our lives. And we are just so grateful, and God has provided every single one of our needs.
You know, in Hebrews 11:6, it says, but without faith, it is impossible to please and be satisfactory to Him. For whoever comes near to God must necessarily believe that God exists and that He is a rewarder of those who earnestly and diligently seek Him. One of the things that we're learning is that faith is not just by, you can't have faith without believing. I mean, you got to believe that whatever God says, God is going to do it. God is going to bring it to pass. And that's one of the things that we've learned through experiences, is that God is bringing, when we lock our hearts into what God says to us, not our circumstances, not what's going on in our lives, but when we lock our hearts into what God is saying, then we see that God brings to pass what He says. And one example is about a couple of months ago, we had several situations of financial needs that had come to pass. We had taxes that were due. We had car insurance coming up, and at the time we didn't have the finances. But one thing that we did, we locked our hearts into God, and we just trusted God. Yes. And during that time, I had received a phone call from the state of North Carolina's Transportation Department. The new highway that's coming through here in Rutherford County, we had a storage unit at one of the facilities that were being used to bring in that highway, and they contacted us and said that they wanted to see if they wanted to help us be able to move out of that storage unit. So I met the gentleman. He come out and he looked at, what he told us is that what they would do is they would pay for a truck to, move the stuff out of the storage building, and they would, pay for, 2 people to do the job and everything. And we just, but he made us an offer to, move out of the storage building. And it was a miracle, because they gave us enough to be able to pay for our taxes and to pay for our car insurance. I mean, we saw God move in that situation. And one of the things that we learned through that is that, you don't have to worry and fret, because a lot of times that's I know I did in the past. If I had a situation like that, I'd be worrying about how I was going to do this and do that. But, through previous experiences and everything, I mean, Robin and I have always seen God come through. And that's the thing that we have locked our hearts in, is that no matter what comes about, if we go to God and we trust God, I mean, we've seen God go through. But one of the things that I've locked in my heart, I mean, you got to fight for the will of God. I mean, it's fighting, because I mean, whenever, like when I share with the situation about when I was on my way to church and the the low fuel light come on the car and everything. I mean, I had demons coming at me, trying to talk to me, trying to seduce me, to convince me that this was not the week to pay my tithes. But I had locked it in my heart that I was going to obey God. And I mean, no matter what, I was going to obey God and do what God told me to do. I was going to fight for the will of God. And when I made that decision to do that, I mean, I saw God go in and move on my behalf. And I mean, and that's what we've experienced here lately, is God moving and intervening and moving on our behalf and providing our finances and everything. And it's like whenever any mountain comes up against us, I mean, it's just a place where we go in, we lock our hearts in, that we know that God is going to move on our behalf. And I mean, that's just a way of living. I mean, it's becoming, like we said, the just shall live by faith. And that's what we're learning to do through everything that we experience. We're learning to live by faith. That's living by what God says, and going to him and seeking him in everything that we do, so that we can hear his voice, and then we lock our hearts into it. I mean, sometimes, God can say some things to you, and if you take it with your mind, you may not know, you may not see how it's going to come to pass, but faith is not seeing it right then. Faith is believing that it's going to come to pass. And that's what, that's the place we're locking our hearts in, is that whatever God tells us, we're learning to submit our hearts. We're learning to trust God and learning not to fret and everything. And God is showing himself, proving himself to us. And these are some of the experiences that are bringing forth that faith in our hearts, that God, no matter what, tomorrow, if we have a situation, we know that we can go to our God, and our God will be there for us. And we're learning that every day.
And that is one thing that we do. We made a vow to each other. We made a vow to God that we will always pay our tithes. And what God's given to us, we want to give it back to him. And just even where it is in a commandment of God, and then where we want to obey God in every area of our lives, where he has been so faithful to us. And we wanted to leave you with this one scripture, and it's in 1 Thessalonians 5:16. And it says, "Be happy in your faith and rejoice, and be glad-hearted continually always." And that's what our prayer is for you, is that you will have God's faith in your heart, and that you will be glad-hearted always and continually.
And we also want to encourage you that no matter what you're going through, whatever situation you're going through, just like God moves for us, God can do the same for you. I mean, it's just taking God at his word, crying out to God, trusting him that he has a hold of your life, and that he'll meet every need in every circumstance that you have before you. And that is the encouragement that we wanted. We hope that you receive today in what we've shared with you, that you can trust God and have faith in God, that God, just like he moved mountains for us, he can move mountains for you. And we want to thank you for joining us today. We want to encourage you to go to our website, wordoffaithfellowship.org. There you will find more people of faith sharing their testimonies and experiences of what God has done in their life. I invite you to join us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you. Have a nice day.
.24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com. Broadcasting the best classic oldies from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
WCAB, the music's on us.